Good morning, everybody. It's another beautiful, sunny June day here at O'Connor RV. And thank you for joining me for another episode of RV Talk with JP. Today, I want to take a little break from doing the typical RV reviews and talk to you about something that gets brought up quite often here at the dealership. I get a lot of customers that come in and ask me, JP, I'm looking at this unit. It says it has a 4-season package. Now, that's a little bit of a tricky conversation in the RV industry. There's a ton of different brands out there offering a wide range of different packages that you can get. Some will say Arctic package, some will say polar package, insulation package. There's tons of names for it, but what does it really mean? In this video, I want to kind of talk about, what that really means in this industry, what kind of different levels of 4-season packages are out there, what's right for you, what do you really need. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. Like and subscribe if you find this video to be helpful. I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment. I'll do my best to respond. So, yeah, let's get into the video. All right, so the first thing I would like to touch on is, a traditional aluminum wood frame trailer. Some people call it stick and tin. I prefer to call it a traditional built trailer versus a fiberglass trailer, usually with aluminum framing. Sometimes still will have wood framing, but that's another conversation completely. But I want to talk about the differences in insulation between the two. So typically on your traditional aluminum wood frame trailer, they're going to have loose fiberglass insulation in the trailer for insulation. The biggest problem with this type of insulation is it's not going to be packed in tight enough that it isn't going to move around. So, as you're traveling, as you're using the trailer over the years, what's going to happen is that insulation is going to start to fall down and you're going to have gaps in your insulation. And then when you're looking at a fiberglass trailer, typically you're going to have block foam, closed cell block foam insulation in your walls. I usually liken it to having, 1.5 to 2 inch thick piece of your Tim Hortons coffee cup in your wall. And they're all cut to size. They're all fitting in around the aluminum framing. It's rigid. It's not going to move. So, over the course of years of ownership of the trailer, that insulation is going to remain in place. And yeah, you're not going to have those gaps that you're going to have eventually with the loose fiberglass insulation. So, I've seen brands, I'm not going to pick on anybody, but there are stick and tin aluminum sided trailers that are advertising 4-season packages, polar packages, you name it. And all this really means on a stick and tin trailer is that it's going to have an enclosed underbelly. So that's number one. Number two, it's going to have some sort of heat source going into the underbelly, whether that be, an 1 or 2 inch duct going from your furnace to heat up your tanks and circulate heat underneath, which is great. That's definitely a step in the right direction, but yeah, I don't believe that's enough to really constitute a 4-season package, and I think it's a little bit misleading in a lot of ways. People are buying these trailers thinking, I can go in the winter with these units. I'm going to be fine. I'm not going to have to worry about my tanks freezing. I'm going to be nice and warm in the trailer, and so on. So we get into the fiberglass trailers, and now the closed cell block foam insulation is it's way better. It is honestly way better than the fiberglass insulation. Now, on a warm, sunny day is actually when I notice it the most walking on the lot with customers. So we'll go into a trailer, it's 30 degrees here, and we'll go through a wood frame trailer like the one behind me, and it'll be just boiling hot. And then we'll go into a fiberglass trailer, and it'll at least feel like it's 10-12 degrees cooler inside. So it does make a huge difference. Now I'm going to get into some of the differences once we get into the fiberglass trailers. There are quite a few different packages that different trailers are offering, and some of them way more for season than others. So yeah, let's touch on that real quick. The biggest one would be, okay, so now I'm getting into a fiberglass trailer with the closed cell block foam insulation. What about the windows? Some brands are offering double pane, or I like to call double glazed windows. This is kind of a misconception in the industry as well. A double pane window in a trailer is not your residential double pane window. It's a way thinner window. In terms of R values, which I'm going to touch on R values in a second, in terms of R value, it's only one R value difference between a single and a double pane window in an RV. So what's the big deal with double pane windows? Well, with the single glazed windows, there's not that moisture barrier. So you're going in the fall, you're going in the winter. You look at the old school houses with single pane windows and how quickly those windows ice up. Well, it's the same in a trailer. So you get that double glazed window, it's not going to so much help temperature wise, but what it's going to do is it's going to act as a moisture barrier, so you don't have nearly as much condensation on the inside of your window when you wake up in the morning. Over the course of the night, your inside of your window isn't going to turn into a big sheet of ice. So that would be one major difference between a single pane RV window and a double pane RV window. Now, the next thing I think it's important to talk about is R values. So I get customers that come in and they're saying, well, this RV is boasting an R38 insulation value in the roof. Well, I'm no expert when it comes to this, but I've talked to a couple of my customers that have been house builders, contractors, and they said, do you know how much insulation you would have to have in order to call something an R38 insulation value? And they said, you would need 12 inches of batten insulation to get an R38 rating. So, I don't know one RV out there that's going to have 12 inches of insulation in the roof. So how are they getting to these insulation values? Well, if you read the fine print, the R values are all equivalent R values. So it's not a true R value rating. It's actually an equivalent. So they'll put things like reflective astrofoil or whatever they are using, and they say, well, this reflective foil is giving you an equivalent value because it's reflecting the heat back in. Well, let me tell you, it's not really the case. So this is why when people start bringing up R values, I don't really entertain that idea. I talk about the different types of insulation, what different manufacturers are doing, but I'm not going to get into actual R values because they aren't really true R values, if we're all to be honest here. So yeah, that's just a little bit of a short talk on the R values and why you shouldn't really focus on those. And I don't really talk about them in, when I was in sales, when I was presenting trailers, I kind of stayed out of that conversation altogether. So now I really want to just touch on, now we're getting into the fiberglass trailers. What are some of the differences that separate, some of the 4-season packages, aside from just the single pane versus double pane? You've got all of these trailers we're talking about now have the heated enclosed underbelly. So when we talked earlier about the block foam insulation, now some of these trailers, they'll advertise a 2-inch wall, but the actual insulation inside that wall is only an inch, maybe an inch and a half thick. You get into brands on our lot, like the Outdoors behind me, they're doing a full 2-inch block foam insulation, which is going to make a huge difference. That extra inch to half inch to a full inch of insulation, that does make a huge difference in terms of your insulation in the trailer. Also, some of the brands too are going to do multiple layers of insulation. So you'll have your astrofoil, you'll have your batt insulation, and then a layer of block foam insulation before you have your floor. So really do your research and find out exactly what these different brands are putting in their trailers for insulation. Don't just look at a sticker and say, all right, this thing's got the polar package, winter package, whatever they call it, and just assume, okay, I'm going to be fine. The last thing I really want to talk about is living in your trailer. Now, none of these brands recommend living in your trailer. Really, RVs are not designed to be lived in, but with the cost of housing these days, there is a ton of people full-timing in their RVs. So what can you do to protect yourself when you're living in a trailer over the winter? I know up here in Canada, we do have some cold winters. Now, where we are here on the coast of BC, it's not so bad. We get about a week of, really cold temperatures a year, but that's even enough to freeze up your system. So there is numerous things that you can do to help protect yourself. So you're getting your four season trailer. One must is to skirt your trailer. So none of these units are designed to withstand temperatures getting down to minus 20, minus 30 degrees. So what you're going to do is you're going to skirt around the bottom of your trailer with, there's people that make custom skirts that are, an insulated fabric, which are awesome. You can also just buy sheets of foam that you can cut to size and put around your trailer. There's affordable options that you can do that don't cost thousands and thousands of dollars. But you based on your budget, do whatever's, affordable for you. So that's really important because it could be, say, minus 10 out and you got a cold cross breeze and it's going to go right under your trailer, and under your trailer could then be minus 20 or 30 when it's only really minus 10 out because of the wind chill factor. So that's something to bear in mind. You definitely need like a heated water hose. So that's essentially an insulated hose that isn't going to freeze. So yeah, definitely there's some really good information online of people that are already full-timing in their RVs that can give you so many helpful tips and tricks on how to do that safely and in a way that's not going to end up costing you in the long run with cracked water tanks, cracked plumbing, and so on. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful and that you learned a few things. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'm actually going camping this weekend, so I'm going to try and take some video of that and hopefully do a little vlog from our camping trip, going over some of the accessories that I have for my RV that I just love. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you then. Again, thanks for watching and have a great day.